The last election in November, we proved to the country that there is a better way to do this. And that's why Donald Trump is the 47th president of the United States. I mean, could you imagine if Kamala won? Could you imagine? We would still have inflation. Our borders would still be wide open. Law enforcement would still be under the thumb of a radical administration. Our economy would be stagnant. The Iranians would be on the move. The Russians would be on the move. They would see weakness in the president of the United States. That's what would have happened if Kamala Harris won. That's what's at stake in every one of these elections. But what have we seen over the last 170 days of Donald Trump being president? The border secured, our economy growing, inflation going down, regulations being cut, men out of women's sports, except in like California and Maine, and they're just crazy. We've seen a Supreme Court stand up and do the right thing. We've seen the world respond to peace through strength. All the experts, so-called experts in foreign policy would tell you that there was no way to bring the Iranian nuclear program to an end. They would say it would only take boots on the ground to do it. But that's not what happened. One, we stood by our ally in Israel. And then two, when the opportunity came, President Trump made the right decision, the tactical decision, the hard decision to blow up those nuclear facilities. When it happened, people said, oh my gosh, this is going to be the start of World War III. But I'm telling you, what we really saw is that when good people stand strong, when good people stand for what is right and what is just, when they ignore naysayers and they ignore the negativity, even when they're being yelled at, what happens is the rest of the world takes notice. They respond to true leadership. And what we are seeing in Washington is the beginning of the end of the old radical Democrat way of running the United States of America. Matt brought up something else. President Trump, he is somebody that I got a chance to know very, very well. Campaigned for him all over the United States. I was in a lot of different places last year. My wife, God bless her, she let me go on the campaign trail and really work hard for the president. And one of the things that he asked me about was the future. What was I going to do next? And I told him a couple times, you know, I'm thinking about running for governor, but let's not get too much into that. We have to get you elected. And he said, yeah, you're right. We got to get me elected. That matters more. But a couple of months ago, President Trump endorsed me to be the next governor of Florida. And we've been on the campaign trail now for a couple of months running to be this state's next governor. And a lot of people have been asking me, they're like, Byron, why did you decide to do this? A couple of reasons. I told you earlier, I came to this state with nothing at 17. Everything I have has been built in Florida. Everything. I owe so much of my success to a state that has allowed not just me to thrive, but my wife to thrive, but allows everybody to thrive. I'm a black kid from the inner city of New York, Brooklyn, New York, if you're from there. Yeah, there you go. My man, Brooklyn, New York. And so I built everything here. Two, I served in the state legislature, and I saw working in Tallahassee with a lot of my colleagues at the time is that we are committed, Republicans are committed to a better way of running government, a better way of life, and actually doing that consistently over time. We've been blessed with great leadership in this state. Governor DeSantis has been a great leader for our state. Before him, Governor Rick Scott, another great leader of our state. But Florida, unlike other states, we believe in term limits. We believe that you come in, you do a job, and then it's time for somebody else. And so, yes, Governor DeSantis is terming out. So you ask me why, I tell you, I want to make sure that the Florida that you have come to know, the Florida that whether you're Puerto Rican or Cuban or Venezuelan or Chilean, and you've decided to come to this state, you've made a home in this state, you've built businesses in this state, you're raising kids in our state, you feel safe in our state, that is the Florida that is going to remain. Florida will continue to be the free state of Florida. As governor, Florida will continue to be the safe state of Florida. As governor, Florida will continue to be an economic engine, and we're going to add to it. We are going to make Florida the financial capital of the world. And we're going to do it based upon common sense economic principles. We are going to do it based upon conservative principles and conservative philosophy. We are going to do it by respecting everyone in our state and respecting their religious worship. Jewish people in our state will continue to be protected in Florida. We're not going to allow for the craziness. We won't allow for it. Young kids in our state, we're going to help them to achieve the dream that is specific to them, not what the bureaucrats and the administrators say. We're going to help children become proficient in core subjects in our state. Whether they want to go work in the trades, which is good, honest work. I mean, listen, some of these plumbers are making like more than $100,000 a year, folks. Carpenters are making more than $100,000 a year. Electricians are making more than $100,000 a year. These are great avenues to pursue a wonderful career, to put food on the table, and to raise a family the same way I was able to do in this great state. And so we're going to look at our kids and make sure they're prepared for the future. We're going to look a little bit north of here. You know, I know where we are. We're in South Florida. South Florida is beautiful. But if you go a couple hours north, there's this place called Cape Canaveral. And at Cape Canaveral, what's happening up there is we are seeing the reformation of America's space power. And we are going to build, oh yes, we are going to build an aerospace and a space hub that is going to rival the world. We're going to do all of that right here in the great state of Florida.